Hi, and thank you for joining me on today's live session. So, one of the things I've been asking myself a lot lately is about information overload. I've been spending so much time learning that I've actually lost track of everything else. And I don't know about you, but I'm now beginning to feel overwhelmed. I've got all this information coming into my brain, and I've got that much information that I don't know what to do with it. Now, have you ever felt like that? If you have, raise your hand because I know I most certainly have. Now, listening to a podcast recently by Jim Quick, I think it's called Quick Brain. Very, very good podcast. Well recommend it. So please do go and listen to that now. It's absolutely fantastic. Jim Quick is a brilliant mentor and teacher. And something he said, which is ringing bells in my head, is we all hear the saying, knowledge is power. And I am calling BS because it is complete and utter poppycock. It makes no sense whatsoever because I have so much knowledge and I can tell you that that knowledge is not power. What I can tell you, however, is I agree completely with Jim Quick saying is that knowledge is only potential power. And I think, and I couldn't agree more, that knowledge is potential power. Now I started asking myself, there has to be a better way. I have all this knowledge in my brain, but what to do with it? What do I do with all this knowledge? Where to start? Marketing, sales, operations, strategy. I just feel paralyzed. Absolutely paralyzed. So it got me thinking. I was like, well, I don't know which direction to go. Do I focus on sales? Do I focus on marketing? Do I focus on video content? Like where do I focus all my attention? And I've been giving up my time on Wednesdays for free at 11 a.m. So please do come and join me. And that's been something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy giving away my time for free, and I enjoy helping people and seeing the change and transformation in the business owners that I work with. But I picked up the phone and I recorded a message to my good friend Stephen in Tasmania. The reason why I recorded the message because of the time difference, I didn't actually know what time it was. I think it was something like 10 o'clock at night for him. And he challenged my thinking. And I asked him, I just asked him, what does he think? I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I've got too much information. And he basically said exactly what I needed to hear. So basically, I'm a personal development addict, like an absolute addict. And I started to see the patterns. I would just keep buying all this knowledge and buy this marketing, this ClickFunnels course, and I'd do the course and I'd have all this knowledge and I'd feel absolutely epic, and I've got all this knowledge going in my brain. I'd learn about Joe Dispenza, Jim Quick, Mark Wickersham, Steve Pipe, Paul Dunn, Michael Gerber, Andy Harrington, Simon Coulson, all this information just going into my brain, and it was fantastic. And I felt like I went from knowing nothing about business, although being a chartered accountant I thought I knew everything about business. Little did I know that I actually knew nothing. So I kind of evolved, and I've got like this hundreds of years worth of knowledge from all of these mentors that I've worked with. And I just kept gorging and reading more books and listening to podcasts, and I don't know if you ever felt like you're doing that. You're just taking on all this knowledge but not knowing kind of what to do with it. Well, yeah, that was me. So I was most creative, and this is something that I kind of discovered. I was most creative when doing personal development. So when I was doing the personal development, I could recognize that my creativity just went through the roof, and I'm already a creative thinker. So when I started to go on to ClickFunnels courses and go on all these different courses, I was getting all this knowledge, and it just ignited creativity. So if you're hitting a creative lull, then go on as much personal development as you can digest is my advice, because it will just ignite that passion and ignite that innovation within your mind and start getting you to think differently. And that's all we would need to do, is just think differently. But I was facing my biggest fear, because I was creating a business that was kind of completely against my values about flexibility and freedom. I wanted to create flexibility and freedom for business owners. I didn't want to be creating a business that was ultimately taking away my flexibility and freedom. You know, I've been blessed over the last, during the COVID situation, because I financially put myself into a very, very good position to be able to weather the storm, and also within the businesses that I was running and the work that I was doing, I had put myself into a position where I had that flexibility to spend time with my family and to be able to enjoy the things and do the things that I wanted in life. So I was very blessed to be in that situation, and I thank him upstairs, or whatever you believe. And it was awful to think that I was going to be creating a business that was kind of completely against what I believed, so not practicing what I preached. And it was, again, my good friend Stephen that was kind of saying that to me. I couldn't see, you know, I don't know whether you felt like this, but, you know, I couldn't see it. I may as well put my hands over my eyes, because I couldn't see what was going wrong. All I could see is I was listening to all these mentors, and I was trying to implement what they were teaching, but it just felt like I was, I don't know, too much information. I had all this information in my brain. I just didn't know which way to focus my attention to. Create a funnel, or create a training course, or create an online business, or e-commerce course, or this, that and the other, or go into property, investment property, zero money down deals. Yeah, we've all heard them. Airbnb business, all of these things, you know, they sound really, really exciting, and they're all aligned with my values in freedom and flexibility. But yeah, is it what I wanted to do? And the more I learned, the darker it would get. Like it kind of, like, I almost imagine like this shadow kind of coming over and just blinding me, completely paralyzing me. And the more, and I felt, and this is what I was being taught, to just keep learning more, just keep learning more, just keep learning, just invest in your personal development, as they said. And I've got to say that whilst investing in your personal development is the number one investment, is investing in yourself, the other thing I would say is don't try and gorge too much. And then it kind of hit me. I mean, it was like I discovered the problem that I was having is that when running a business by yourself, and we kind of get drawn into learning how to solve the problems ourselves. So, for example, the sales funnel. So I started learning about ClickFunnels, and I was trying to learn how to create a funnel, and I was trying to learn how to do it myself. Now, given my background as a financial strategist, an accountant, you know, pricing strategist, pricing consultant, it wasn't my skill set. It wasn't something that it did kind of come natural to me, but it wasn't something that I knew how to do. I couldn't just go out tomorrow and create a ClickFunnels sales funnel. Sales copy still eludes my brain, and when creating script for videos, again, it's not my natural skill. And that's what entrepreneurs do. As entrepreneurs, what we do is we like to solve problems. And if we have a problem in front of us, we will always find out how to solve the problem. Now, where for me was like the penny drop moment, or even the mic drop moment for me, was instead of asking how to do it, it was who should be doing it. And when do we stop to actually think and budget for this? Again, bringing in the financial stuff. But when do we budget for who can solve these problems for me? So what is the problem that I've actually got? And we need to dig deeper on the problems, because some of the things that we're experiencing are symptoms of a bigger problem. And when we can identify the real problem, we can then start looking for answers. And there are definitely answers on the internet, and you can learn how to fix it yourself, or you can find who can fix it for you. And there are plenty of methods of doing that. You can do a completely hands-off service, and the completely hands-off service is obviously the most expensive. You can go and find, so for example, if I've got a problem in generating leads, I'm not generating enough leads and not turning them into customers, like that becomes marketing and sales. So that's overlapping in two dynamics, because I'm not generating leads and I'm not converting them into sales. So actually the biggest problem is money. So bringing that money into the business, the cash flow, the money flow. So when we start thinking about that, it's we can identify with that problem, and we can then go and find out who can solve that. And like I say, if we go to the top and we go to an agency, chances are we're going to pay a lot of money for that. But that's almost completely hands off. Now we could then go on to Upwork, we could then go on to People Per Hour, Freelancer, websites like that, and we can find people to fill the team spaces. Now this is important here, so please do write this down, is when you're building, when you're trying to solve these problems, you need to think about all the team members that you need. So don't get a jack of all trades. So if you're looking to build a website, don't just get a full stack developer, because trying to get a full stack developer that is brilliant at design and back end is like, I'm not going to say something crude. It's incredibly hard, because if they've not already been poached by somebody else, chances are you're going to be paying an absolute premium for that skill set where they're exceptionally good at both of those skills. Now I'm not saying it's impossible to find people that do that. What I am saying is it's very difficult. So think about the skill sets and the tasks that need to be done, and there are ways of finding out what tasks need to be done. You can use tools like Process Street. Process Street will give you the whole process. I think it's about £30 a month. So that's well worth looking into. I'll share an affiliate link down below for Process Street, again just to help sponsor this channel and keep it going. But yeah, I mean, this has changed everything for me, because it's changed the way I think. Like and to give you an example, so my wife is absolutely fantastic. She is so supportive of everything that I do, and I'm sure she thinks I'm crazy at times, and I probably am a little bit, but she was offering me help in my business, and technically it's our business, so she's offering me help, but it's not the help, it's not the who that we need right now, because we don't need an extra pair of hands, we don't need an extra cook in the kitchen, so to speak. What we need is something completely different. Does that make sense? And we identify with that and then go and have a look at it. But ultimately, what I've discovered is that I need to let go, because even when I was bringing in, so I've got a team, or I had a team of about 4 or 5 freelancers, and I dip in between those, and one freelancer in particular, Jamila, has been an absolute fantastic find. She's an absolutely brilliant person. I would be looking after her. But what she does is she effectively takes my complicated mind, and then manages the task, but then goes and gets it done. But what I haven't done is I haven't given her autonomy on the decisions. So I haven't given her a budget. I didn't give her autonomy to make the decisions. I didn't give her autonomy to make mistakes, and that was a big mistake for me. So I needed to let go. I needed to, I've got some notes here, and I need to outsource more. So it's, the way I like to think of it is, and again, this is like with cars, and I love my cars, but is focus on building the car. So you've got this vehicle can now get you from A to B. You can buy the car. So if you can buy the car, that's like effectively buying a business that's already working. So the business is already getting from A to B. It might not be getting from A to B very efficiently. It's going to cost you more money. You may need to finance the deal. You may need to find some way of brokering that deal. Now, if you buy a car that's already built, all you need to do is effectively fuel it. But if you've built the car from scratch, it might be a little bit rickety, but what you need more than anything is you need to fuel it. So not just only build the car and make it more efficient. So if you've built the car and you're trying to make it more efficient, which I find a lot of detailed thinkers will tend to go down that, and myself included, is effectively what I'm trying to get at is if we're trying to fuel the car, we're trying to fuel the business with cash. So cash is the fuel for business, and without cash coming into our business, we can't get from A to B. The business just becomes stationary. Does that make sense? So we need to bring that cash in all the time, instead of focusing on putting in all of the systems and processes. Because if we get bogged down as small business owners putting in all of the systems and processes before we're bringing in the cash, like it's all going to go crumbling, like, because all, the systems and the processes are going to give us the ability to scale. So once we've got the cash flow coming in and coming in on automation or on autopilot, that's when we can really focus on our systems and processes and our automation. So I'd got it completely the opposite way around. I was actually thinking, focus on the automation, focus on the systems and processes, and then build the cash flow. Now you can do that if you're massively funded, but it's a very high risk strategy, because you could spend all the time creating the systems and processes and not have a validated product that is going to generate you revenue. If you've not got a validated product that's going to generate you revenue, then what are you going to do? So I can look back on my journey and I can say, yes, personal development is great. You should do it. You should invest in your personal development. You're investing in your personal development if you've got to this part of the video. But stop digesting too much. It's almost like I call it knowledge obesity. You're eating too much and you're consuming too much, and to be honest with you, you're consuming the wrong foods, and you're consuming, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed. Because if you think about it, like there are really three core areas of business: sales, marketing, and operations. And as a small business owner, we have to pick one of those and then outsource the others, because we can't do all three. And we can't, well, I say we can't do, you can do all three, but you can't do them very well. Does that make sense? Like you can't fully go all in on marketing and then generate if you go all in on marketing, then you can generate a lot of leads, because you'll learn what's working, what's not. You'll be able to look at the numbers, what's working, what's not. You won't just go, all right, let's invest lots into marketing, let's invest £50,000 into my marketing funnel, and then it completely flops and then you drop it. Like, that would be the worst possible thing that you could do. So what's the answer? Hopefully you're asking. Well, pick one, maybe two mentors and stick with them for at least a year. So at least 1 year, stick with them for that length of time. So whoever your mentor is right now, don't start buying more and more courses. Don't buy anything I've got to offer unless I'm going to be one of your two mentors. Like, really, because otherwise you're not going to be able to focus on what I teach. You're not going to be able to implement what I teach. You're not going to be able to bring in, build your brochures, build out your pricing models, create a profitable pricing model, map out your cash flow systems. What's your magnet system? What's your monetary system? What's your motive system? Like, bringing all of those things together, you're not going to have the time to do it. It's going to be impossible. You're just going to be investing in another course that's not going to generate you any revenue. And I don't want that. I want customers that are going to get results. I want customers that are going to see results. I want customers that can spend more time with their family and enjoy it, knowing that the business isn't going to collapse. That's what I want. That's what I'm passionate about. So I've made it my mission to free business owners, and not just any business owners, it's service business owners in particular, and service business owners that have got families. Like, family is so important to me, and it's such an important part of my life. I make my family my number one priority, and by making my family the number one priority, everything I focus on and everything I generate is because of them. Everything I do is because I'm spending more time with them. Does that make sense? The business is there to support that. And okay, I lost my way, but follow your path. Give yourself permission to fall and make mistakes. Or everyone makes mistakes. Tony Robbins makes mistakes. Jim Quick makes mistakes. All the gurus, Brendan Bouchard, everyone makes mistakes. But as entrepreneurs, what we do is we learn from those mistakes. We then progress. We then put the solutions into play, and we create a system and process so that solution can be done time and time again. And life is all about discovery. And my last parting comment, because I'm really passionate about this, and I'm sorry if it's gone on for too long, but is learn all about yourself. So we're learning all of this information about other people. What have other people done? But when do we actually take the time to learn about ourselves? What do we want? What do we actually want? Do we want to learn about marketing? Do we want to learn about pricing? Do we want to grow our business? Is that really what we want? Are we doing it for other people? Are we doing it for our family? If we are doing it for our family, why are we doing it for our family? Is it so we can spend more time with them? If it's to spend more time with them, spend more time with them. Don't spend time in the business. Like, if money's your driver, then yeah, go and get more money. But if it's spending more time with your family, earning more isn't going to solve the problem. What's going to solve the problem is spending less. Because you don't need to earn more money. There are people in the world that are earning next to nothing and living a fabulous life. So anyway, thank you for joining me on this live session. Like I say, please do come and join us on Wednesdays at 11. I really do enjoy those sessions. I'm just sharing a bit of the journey and a bit of an insight into the journey, and I'll be sharing these every Tuesday. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Take